Alright, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, we are live in full effect right here, right now with the one, the only. We got Chicago's finest. We got Cloak The Scribe live on the line. How are you doing this evening?
Yo, what's good, DJ Immortal? Yo, what's good, my good peoples?
I gotta say, first and foremost, man, it's an honor to have such a talented Chi-Town artist like yourself, man.
Oh, man, I appreciate that, bro. Like, it's a lot of hard work to actually be talented.
But I gotta ask you, man, like, I know you're a busy guy, so I'm gonna dive right in this interview, but I want to take you back to the beginning of your amazing career, and I gotta ask, man, like, what inspired you and sparked the amazing career of Cloak The Scribe?
Man, for those who don't know or who have, known or who are familiar, Tupac was my inspiration, man. Like, that was his abilities and descriptiveness and rhyme and his just realness and rawness he was the spark. He lit the candle, and it's been like rhyming consistently, poetry and everything else from that day forward.
And I gotta ask you, man, because I know you probably get asked this a lot, but since we're on the topic of Tupac, Tupac's one of my favorite artists as well. So I gotta ask you, what is one of your favorite Tupac songs that really help you get through just a lot of them hard times?
So Many Tears, Ambitions of a Rider, Picture Me Rolling, surprisingly, Hail Mary too.
Man, I gotta say, my favorite joint, man, is actually Holla at Me from his All Eyes on Me record, man. I gotta say, you definitely you heard the pain in that third verse, man. I really enjoyed that song.
Yeah, that was a very dope record. Very dope.
But man, I noticed as well, man, that in 2008 you actually released your very first mixtape titled Life Music Volume 1, and I was wondering, what's the story and inspiration behind that mixtape, and is it still floating around the internet to be actually streamed today?
Man, I'm going to be re-releasing that project because that got a lot of attention when I first dropped it. Life Music Volume 1 was just me talking about life at that particular moment. You know, 9/11 had just happened. So, everybody was still kind of feeling that every 9/11 that came, we were rehashing. I said, man, let me bring back some life, to this date and to this time frame and to, just kind of commemorate a lot of what was going on at that time. For me, being a young person at that time and, coming into 2008 and making this transition into music full time.
And I gotta say as well, man, cause I unfortunately mixtapes aren't really a thing anymore. Unfortunately, man, everyone's just doing singles. I gotta ask you, do you think mixtapes should still be a thing, or do you think that should be just kept in the past?
Honestly, I'm hip hop to the core. You know what I'm saying? I come from the culture. I ain't really on the whole trendsetters and waves and all that other thing. So, let a Static Selector, DJ Green Lantern, my own big homie up here in Chicago, DJ V-Dub, let anybody like that reach out for a mixtape. I'm that.
Oh, man, I gotta say, dude, I'm still a mixtape guy myself, you know what I mean? I've hosted a few mixtapes, but this day and age, nobody does them anymore, so it's really nothing to really host if there's no mixtape. So I hope, it kind of makes a comeback sooner or later, man. I really love mixtapes myself.
Right.
But also as well, man, I want to take you just ahead to 2014, man, where you actually dropped the EP titled Dreams of a Giant, which personally I have to say is my favorite EP by you, man. But I've always wondered, what's the story behind that phenomenal record, man? Because just the name itself, has so much meaning behind it.
Dreams of a Giant, man, that was, from the first record, it pretty much explains to you what it is. So, before Chicago had gotten, in the public eye for all the violence and things that was taking place, what people don't seem to understand about Chicago is that stuff's always been a problem here. So before it got nationally, noticed and, oh man, Chicago's so bad and this, that, and the third, we have been dealing with gang culture for over 30 years. So it's people talking about it now is just kind of passe to everybody who's lived there or who's had to grow up under that situation.
And I gotta ask as well, man, is that EP still out on the internet today to actually be streamed and whatnot?
Yeah, that's everywhere. That's currently everywhere right now on every platform: Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Wherever you stream music at, you can find Dreams of a Giant.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify on that one because I personally listen to it on YouTube, and I do know that sometimes on YouTube, individuals get their hands on a copy of a CD and they tend to upload it type thing. So I want to make sure that it's still circulating the net for our listeners to check out.
Oh yeah, it's definitely there, man. Like if you can't find it, email me. We'll talk about it.
And also, man, February 15th, 2015, you performed at Coast to Coast Live out there in Chicago. I was wondering if you can tell our listeners a bit more about that experience, and of course, what was it like just doing that Coast to Coast in front of your hometown?
Oh man, that felt great. Doing Coast to Coast in front of the hometown felt great. Unbeknownst to me, there were a lot of people from the culture there, so I'm getting a whole lot of "What up, Cloak?" and "Shout out to Cloak." And such and such, like that really felt great to do like a huge event like that here in my hometown, and just kind of making everybody proud from the culture.
And I gotta ask you as well, man. When we're on the topic of shows and whatnot, I do know with COVID-19, it's really iffy on if anyone has shows. But with the whole pandemic, have you actually performed at all during this past crazy year and a half?
Well, for the Super Bowl, Too Hot Radio held a event down in Tampa. So I actually flew out to Tampa to actually make that event happen. Of course, they were still doing the social distancing. Everybody was still wearing their masks like they were supposed to and everything else like that. So I did get the chance to do a show out in Tampa, which was dope. But I really, really, really hope that we get to a point where we can open the live venues again to do performances.
And I gotta say, I most definitely hope for that as well, man. It's terrible the way the pandemic is really hurting the music industry, man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And also, May 2015, you actually participated in a special BET Cypher series. I was wondering if you could tell our listeners a bit more about that, and of course, how did you actually land that opportunity with BET?
A friend of mine was telling me about it, and she just randomly threw my name in the hat. I was just kind of like chilling, kind of doing promo stuff, and she was like, well, I got a chance to kind of enter you into this thing. And I was like, what are you talking about? And so I go to look it up. I get the email. I'm reading through it, and I'm like, yo, this is BET. I said, oh, snap, let's do this. So, I got ready and everything, and, before the show started, they was like, if there are any actual MCs, and it's kind of funny that they said actual MCs in the building that actually rap, come on stage. So I was like, all right, cool. I get up there, I spit a little something, they probably do like a quick little industry beat, and, they decided to use next episode, Snoop Dogg and Dre, which was one of my favorite beats from the West Coast. So, I got up there and I did my thing.
And I gotta ask as well, man, like, how was that broadcasted? Was that just online, or were you actually featured on the actual television channel itself?
No, they actually did it via online, which was very dope.
And I gotta say,
it was a live stream.
It sounds a live stream can most definitely reach a hell of a lot more people than a TV channel, because not a lot of people really have cable anymore.
Right. So it was dope to actually be on stage in front of a live audience in the building and on live stream, pretty much spitting my heart out.
But also, man, I noticed as well that you actually done an amazing amount of work with an individual by the name of Mr. Robotic. I was wondering, how did yourself and him get connected? And do you guys have any current projects currently in the works right now?
So, Mr. Robotic is also helping me with sync licensing. So, he's getting me a lot of sync licensing opportunities. And for those who don't know what sync licensing is, that's when companies pay you a set percentage or pay you a set rate for your actual music. Me and Mr. Robotic go way back. He used to go by the name Bullet back when he was battle rapping. I went by another name back then too, and that's how we got hooked up through that, through the culture, through Chicago and Chicago battle rap scene. So that's how me and him got hooked up, and so we just kept in contact.
And I have to ask you, man, what is one of your most memorable moments just doing the whole battle rap scene? Like, did you actually have the opportunity to battle anyone in particular that really stood out to you?
So, it's a couple guys that I've seen recently from Chicago that I actually have tried out on URL, and they've tried out in the Chicago battleground scene. the Chicago Battleground platform. And I was like, yo, I remember this kid back when we were like all that Subterranean, and some of us had did Big Mouth at Columbia College. Like, I've seen a couple guys that I battled.
And I gotta ask as well, man, because like you just recently released a phenomenal album, man, by the name of A Little Music While You Wait. And I was wondering, man, what's the story and inspiration behind that phenomenal record? And of course, where can our listeners actually buy or stream ourselves a copy of that record today?
So they can actually buy and stream the record everywhere. A Little Music While You Wait actually started out as a demo that I was actually sending off to a label. I would not say what label it is because they have not cut a check and we have not discussed that. So that started out as a demo, and my engineer, we had a quick little meeting before we put the project all the way together, and he just said to me, he's like, well, honestly, I feel like you should put this out yourself. He was like, why would you let another company benefit from you putting in the hard work and the money to put this project together? So I said, all right, cool, we'll do it here. So everything was done in-house at the studio in the city of Chicago. Shout out to Pots and Pans Audio, too.
And I gotta ask, man, do you currently have any hard copies available for the old school listeners that really do still love that compact disc format?
We don't have any right now, but I am putting in an order with disc makers to make that happen for those of you who want to order hard copies of that project. Because honestly, I didn't plan on doing hard of COVID happening, but since we are almost out of the pandemic, I am going to put in the order for hard copies. These will be collectibles. After they're gone, there aren't any more. So after I put in the order, let you guys know. I'll put it all on social media and all this other stuff, and then y'all go for what y'all know, man. First come, first serve.
Most definitely, ladies and gentlemen, either you get it or you most definitely will regret it.
Yep.
But no, I gotta ask you there, Cloak, man, like, what is next for you? Like, is there anything I happen to miss? Anything else you still want to talk about or promote? What we stuff you here live on the Canadian airwaves?
Yo, shout out to, because I know we talked about it earlier, so shout out to Ottawa, Canada. Shout out to y'all. You know what I'm saying? That the love is incredible, and I appreciate Canada for all the love that they give me. I want to shout out my man Cam Quotes. I actually have an indie label that'll be launching very soon, so y'all be looking out for that. We have a single and video out right now called Unify, produced by my man Martha Mo Beats with my homegirl Ray Vo on the background vocals. I'm on the vocals too, for those who don't know. I do a little harmonizing here and there. Not nothing too crazy. But I want to shout out my homeboy, the kid Nigel. We just did his album, Outside Looking In. I'm on track 3 called Soulful Vibes, so y'all check him out on Bandcamp. Shout out to my homie Sinister. We're doing the collab single and video called Underdog that's coming out soon. So y'all be looking out for a lot of stuff, man. We got a lot more music coming.
And I gotta say, man, it most definitely sounds like you have this most definitely is the year of Cloak the Scribe, man. I'm excited to hear that you guys actually have some new music in the works, man. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a fan of your craft, and I'm gonna be honest, man. If you make it, I'm most definitely gonna buy it.
Oh, bro, trust me, it's gonna be out there. We got the website coming and everything. Like, everything is gonna be in a central location. That's what we're doing right now. The website is under construction because we've been doing so much work here in the city. We're getting all that restructured and putting everything back together. So y'all already know how it goes. Like, when artists is working, we working. You know what I'm saying? We putting it together. So as soon as all that flood in, website, I have everything there. Videos, blogs, music, everything that you could think of. Merchandise, everything. Everything will be CloakTheScribe.com. Straight across the board.
And also, man, this is the time in the interview that I give a chance for the individual that slides into the radio station airwaves. And I do know you already gave a few shout-outs, but just in case, man, this is the time to get some shout-outs to whomever you want to give shout-outs to. But most of all, man, drop them social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated everything Cloak the Scribe if they're not already doing so.
So, All right, I'm gonna get into the shout out. Shout out to my parents. Shout out to my whole family, but numero uno, shout out to my parents. Like, without them, without their support, man, I don't know where I'd be, to be completely honest. Shout out to all the homies back home. Y'all know who y'all are. I'm not saying y'all names, too many of y'all. Shout out to all my industry people. Y'all know who y'all are, too. There's too many of y'all, too. But, you know, it's just love to my city, Chicago, love to Canada, love to Ottawa. I do know of a few industry contacts in Toronto that really rock with me tough. My distribution company, CKOR, shout out to y'all. And if you want to find me on anything social media related, Cloak The Scribe, just like CloakTheScribe.com, Cloak The Scribe, everything's uniform.
But I gotta say, Scribe, thank you so much, man, for just taking the time out of your busy evening and sliding into the 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM airwaves. It was an honor and most definitely a privilege, bro, and I hope down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon.
Oh, yes, sir, bro. Just let me know.
Hey, man, most definitely, man. And also, dude, if you need anything radio-wise, don't hesitate to reach out, man. I got you for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Hey, man, most definitely. You have yourself a wonderful night out there in Chicago. Stay safe, and we most definitely shall talk soon.
Yes, sir. Let's chop it up.
Most definitely, brother. Have yourself a great night.
You too.